or in person. I currently serve as GBQ's managing director, which basically means that and the finance, marketing, HR, and IT teams report to me, and our job is basically to keep the firm running in the background, while all of the rest of our accountants are client-facing and taking care of what our clients need. So my background includes 23 years at GBQ, but also 2 accounting firms before that. GBQ is 68 years old, so we are firmly in our 3rd generation of ownership, and we'd like to think that we're constantly reinventing, and we're excited about this opportunity to partner with Columbus State. As someone at GBQ who is tasked with also being involved in the community, one of the boards that I sit on and have been on for a number of years is the Columbus Chamber Board, which serves the small business community. And through the Columbus Chamber Board, I got introduced to their workforce initiatives, which really are about jobs training and getting people into the right positions to move forward with their lives in the Columbus community. And I learned that Columbus State does a fantastic job at doing that, and got to know a number of people in the workforce area through the college, and have been there for a lot of meetings and met a number of people. So we're very excited to be partnering with the Career Services Office. David and Amy and all of the team has been really great about helping us find a way to create a path that will hopefully lead to professional employment, maybe for the short term for some of you, but hopefully for the long term as well. That's our goal. So, GBQ, broadly speaking, serves primarily closely held businesses and their owners. We do have some public company clients, but that's not the majority of our work. So for our entire existence, we've been working with family-owned businesses, and today a lot of businesses that are owned by private equity firms. But in general, the cool part about what we get to do is that we get to know the owners directly. And working with entrepreneurs on a regular basis is actually a very interesting thing to do. Accountants have never been in higher demand than they are right now. Over the last year and a half, through all of the things that COVID created, there was a ton of legislation and a lot of opportunities for tax planning and SBA loans and grants and tons of government programs. So we've been very, very busy, and we've been able to really kind of streamline the way that we bring ideas to our client base and really work together as a team. And we're in a place right now, as you all know, where the talent market is very tight. And one of our number one initiatives is to find new sources of talent and to create a different kind of pipeline. And so you guys are part of that. And we hope that this is going to be appealing to you as you listen to more about our firm. Our purpose at GBQ is empowering growth. That's our purpose statement. And that really means to, help people both grow their businesses, but also grow their skills and grow themselves and grow their ability to contribute to the community. So our goal is to empower the growth of our associates, our clients, and our community. And we think that that statement fits perfectly with what this initiative is, because we're hoping that together, as you join us, we can find a way to empower everybody in the process. So our goal for the future is to remain an independent firm. We're a large firm across the country. We're number 104 in terms of the biggest firms in the country right now, which was just ranked recently. And our goal is to continue to grow that practice. We've been working over the last couple of years to expand our geography and also to expand the number of services that we offer, many of which are no longer specifically accounting related, like our cybersecurity team, our business valuation team, and some of the forensic and fraud work that we do. So we have our sights on a number of things. As I said, I'm working on an acquisition right now with a team of people, and we see that there's a bright future in accounting and beyond. But we also believe very fundamentally that accounting is the cornerstone of kind of any business opportunity, and that if we can get you the opportunity to come to GBQ and learn some things while you're still in school, that can lead to a career path that will be rewarding for you. So we appreciate your time and your attention, and I'm going to let Beth introduce all the people in the room since I can't see everyone. And again, I hope that this is all informative for you, whether now is the right time with GBQ or whether it's later. We want to get to know you and try to build a relationship. So have fun tonight. Talk to the people that are there who are relatively new in their careers with GBQ, who can give you the honest scoop on what things look like and how things work. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the future and hopefully in person next time. Beth?
Thank you, Darcy. All right. Awesome. And I did want to mention to those that are on remotely, if you guys have questions throughout this, go ahead and chat them in. Dave or Daniel will be able to see those so we can answer those. We are saving a little bit of time at the end to answer questions once we kind of share all this information also for those of you guys that are in person. Couple other items. We are hoping that at the end of this, we can do a very quick tour of the office also, because we are proud of it. We like to work here and we want you guys to be able to see the space. We're on both the 7th and the 6th floor. So we will hopefully leave a little bit of time for that at the end. And obviously, if anyone has questions, one off after we go through all of this information, you're about to get a lot of information, then we will kind of hang around towards the end, just if anyone has one-off questions. So my name is Beth Mast. I'm a senior manager of our human resources team here. I've been with GBQ for about 11 years now. I have had a little bit of a unique background to get to where I'm at today. I'm a CPA by background. I'm an accountant. I grew up in Cincinnati area, came up to Columbus, went to Ohio State, majored in accounting, found GBQ for an internship, started full-time in our tax department. So I'm a CPA. I lived kind of that accounting career path for about 6 years, and then determined that I was ready for a shift, and slowly but surely kind of have found my way here to where I stand today, with a transition into our HR team. I share that just because I think that the reality is that, you know, everyone to some extent is going to go through some questions about what is my career and what does that transition look like and what do I want to do in 5 to 10 years. And I think we can be realistic that that's going to shift at times. It did for myself. Oh, perfect. Okay. Bye, Darcy. She had a 5:30 meeting, so we're glad that worked out for her. But I just share that because it's the reality, I think. And I'm lucky that GBQ has a culture that has supported that and cultivated that. You would think that, you know, you come to a tax partner and you say, I'm not sure tax is for me. I'm not sure I want to do taxes. I don't love taxes. For them to not kindly show you the door and say, well, then we have no purpose for you here. To really work through that with me. And that's not unique to me. We've had other people that have changed their career path. And I think that, again, it kind of speaks to that empowering growth and the support of people that truly do care about each other here. So again, that is a little bit of background on myself, but not meant to sound like, you know, I'm just standing up here and talking about myself. It really is about the culture and about the people that we're surrounded with here. So I'm going to have you guys do introductions when you're up here. We have Alexandra and Alex in the front. These guys are GBQ people. And then Emily and Megan are in the back. So Emily's going to speak after me. You can do a quick intro. Megan Shy walked you guys back here and helped get this day ready to go. And she's going to be very involved in the process that we're about to talk about today. Megan is an HR manager, so we work very closely together daily. So we will hear more from both of us. So what I wanted to talk through, I've got a clicker, I just remembered, is very high level kind of the opportunity that we're talking about here today. So I'm going to talk about it kind of from GBQ's vantage point. Emily's going to talk a little bit about what does the day-to-day tasks and responsibilities potentially look like. You're going to hear from Alexandra, Alex, and Jordan if he is on here as well, because we wanted you guys to hear from people who have recently gone through the process of kickstarting their career and why they chose GBQ. And you might want to hear from them more than us, and that won't offend us completely. So what the timeline we have put together, and Amy is going to go into a lot of detail around what this looks like to get us to October 4th. But our goal is to have 4 to 8 students start with GBQ around October 4th with a kickstart date. We are hoping to have a commitment of around 20 hours a week. So ideally, we're going to split people between our assurance and tax practices. So if we shoot for that 4 intern candidate pool, that will be 2 in each at 20 hours each, which will get us to an equivalent of a full-time employee. So that's kind of what we're kickstarting and gearing this whole timeline towards. Pay would be $21 an hour, and we'd be transparent about that as well. What we see that basically evolving into, and on February 1st, is the opportunity to bump those hours up to around 25 hours plus per week. Obviously, we realize that everyone's situation is different, your commitment abilities, your school schedule. Again, I kind of shared that story because we have some individualized attention that we can give. We want to provide structure, obviously, with this. but we want to make sure that we are having conversations and understanding what everyone is looking for to get out of a program, particularly from a structural hour standpoint. So should we get to that February 1st date, we're hoping we can bump those hours up to commit to you guys and equally in return to at least 25 hours a week. That would put you in the pool of benefits eligibility at GBQ. So we think that is hopefully an appeal and an important factor to consider. That would include prorated PTO. So our associates here get PTO based on their 40 hours a week. We would prorate that based off of your hourly commitment as well. There will be some parameters around performance, obviously. We're going to want to make sure we're factoring in how you're doing, how you're liking the work, how you're contributing to the firm, of course. So that will be a factor as well that we would consider at that point in time. At the 1-year anniversary, we are looking to basically provide eligibility for tuition reimbursement. So as Darcy shared, we don't view this as just a 3-month stint or a 1-year thing. We really want to help find talent that will contribute, and equally for you guys to get that experience to contribute to GBQ and learn about the accounting world and public accounting. So we would like to offer that opportunity in turn as well. So through the tuition reimbursement program, there would be academic requirements around that, obviously, as well, expectations about, C average or better. And again, just kind of offering that opportunity to hopefully keep people plugged in and excited about GBQ. A couple other factors I just wanted to share high level from GBQ standpoint. We've got Emily, who's going to talk here in a second, on our assurance side of the practice, audit, what you guys may better know as. And then Chelsea Stockmeyer is our tax person, so she was not able to be here tonight, but we are excited to kind of have them managing the process. We would also have some mentors plugged in, likely at the partner level, to make sure you guys are engaged and really learning about the opportunities at the firm as well. So we think that that would be a great benefit, hopefully, to consider also. So again, we'll save a little bit of time at the end for questions because there's a little bit of fill in the blanks between now and October 4th that Amy's going to talk about, but I'm going to turn it over to Emily so she can talk about what does this mean I'm doing every single day. So to some degree, we won't get into too much detail, but.
Hi, as Beth mentioned, my name is Emily Fankhauser. I've been with the firm for almost 6 years now. Kind of a similar path as Beth, but outside of the firm. I was actually a teacher for 7 years. I taught in Boston, high school English for 2 years, moved back to Ohio and worked with kids with autism for 5 years. Similar to Beth, I think that I was ready for something a little different. I was burnt out and I got an opportunity here at GBQ to be a resource coordinator. That's just a fancy term for scheduler. So over the past 6 years, my role has really evolved quite a bit. And as Beth mentioned, I work mainly in our assurance department as an operations manager. Fancy word for just making sure things run smoothly, making sure schedules are set, people are where they need to be. And I also help our tax department oversee that scheduling process as well. So I think that for me, being a teacher, coming into an accounting firm, I thought, what's the place for me? But it ended up being a pretty good fit. So here I stand 6 years later. Just kind of briefly wanted to go over what this opportunity looks like. As Beth said, I'll kind of oversee the assurance side of things and Chelsea will oversee the tax side of things. This is all pretty high level. But as far as industries, GBQ serves basically every industry out there. Manufacturing, distribution, a lot of nonprofits, restaurants. White Castle is one of ours, so kind of cool. But there's a lot of companies in Columbus that we serve, and I'm sure you recognize a lot of those. As far as types of engagements you'll be working on the tax side, it's going to be tax returns, individuals, businesses, corporations. And then on the assurance side of things, you would work on, obviously, audits, reviews, compilation, basically anything that's going to support our clients and those engagement teams. As far as more specific activities that you'll be doing, these both kind of apply to both sides of things because we have clients we do both tax work for and audit work for. But really just general accounting services, financial statement proofing, that's big on the assurance side. Basically, you get to grade a paper for somebody. year-end planning and field work. That planning goes along with tax and insurance as part, and then field work is on the audit side when we're actually doing the work for our client. Client service assistance, preparation of tax return work papers and calculations, and then the final product, tax processing. I think the biggest thing that I just wanted to point out here, this doesn't sound super exciting and flowery, but what the really important thing is that this is all the work we kind of do behind the scenes for our clients. And so there's a big emphasis, obviously, on our financial statement proofing and our tax processing final product. Some of our clients have fees in excess of $50,000. So if we hand them a piece of paper, a report, we want to make sure that that is a reflection of who we are as a firm. So I think, again, the big point here is that you're going to be part of an engagement team serving our clients. And that's pretty exciting to be able to kind of work with those teams. You'll meet a lot of different people. So it's kind of the general overview. And obviously, as we move forward with this process, these things will become a little more clear. So here's first. This is Alexandra Milheim and Alex Comas.
Hi. Sorry, I don't know how close to hold this. Alexandra Milheim. I'm in the assurance department. So I started with GBQ back in November, just of last year. So I've been with the firm for about 9 months. I went to Ohio State for school, did my 4 years, 150 hours, all that. Had no idea really what I wanted to do when I was in college, like at all. I kind of just like picked a major, I felt like, because I literally can't tell you looking back like why I did. I mean, you guys probably understand that feeling. So it's hard to say. Like in my interviews, I remember saying stuff like that I did enjoy the challenge of my accounting classes, which that's true, but I didn't know what an accounting job would be. And that's like kind of scary, like when you're going into an interview process. So when I was looking for jobs, I saw that GBQ had a rotation department. So you could choose if you wanted to do assurance or tax. And that was like really important to me because I didn't want to be, I guess, in an interview, just like making stuff up about like which job I wanted. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, like I can do this. Like I can talk about why I love like school right now, why I'm excited for this opportunity, and like then sort of make a decision from there. So I had my interview and all that, and it was just very comfortable feeling having that conversation, like, oh, I don't know what it is exactly that I want to do. I know that I'm like happy with accounting and like sort of where I'm headed, but I don't know what an accounting job looks like. I wasn't able to say, in other interviews, if I was, say, going for a tax position, say like, oh, I want to do taxes. Like that's not something I was like open to saying. So I was like super excited about just talking about the firm and like who I am as a person more than like sort of like the day-to-day little things that I wasn't really necessarily sure about. So interview went super well and all that. And then I came into a pre-night and office visit here, and everyone was just so open and honest with that same way that I was feeling, which I didn't get that in any other interviews I've had in my whole life. I just really liked all the people I met. It just felt like I could be myself right off the bat. And I just really appreciated that feeling. So that whole night of the pre-night and then the office visit, like I met like so many great people. And I just felt like I was supposed to be here. And so I feel like if you guys, the more people you might meet today, like you might feel that same way. It's not, I don't know. Like I had another interview, for instance, and it felt hard to be myself, I guess. And I didn't feel like that at all here. So I just really like that sort of culture of just being open, like with what Beth said about like, okay, so if my career is sort of taking a turn, am I going to be able to be honest about that? And like things like that are really important when you don't necessarily know what you want to do. So like I said, started in November in the assurance department. It was just like randomly assigned. And I actually like have really been enjoying the job. It's actually every day it kind of shocks me. People actually sometimes think that I'm like joking when I say that how happy I am, because it sounds so like I mean, it still shocks me just saying it out loud. I'm just genuinely happy with the job and like with the people. All the people I started with are great. The job is like, I don't know. I don't know how much to say about like the work, like Emily was saying. Like when it comes down to it, like it doesn't sound super like exciting, but I just feel like I'm a very appropriate amount of challenge. Does that make sense? Like I don't feel like everything's super repetitive, but I do feel like I'm getting to do a little bit of different things every day. And so that's like really nice. I think a lot of jobs, people might say that they're doing the same thing every day, or that, they have no idea what they're doing, things like that, like on either end of the spectrum. I've never felt like that here. Like every day I can come in and like feel like I'm getting to do a few new things, but like nothing, like I'm not thrown into the deep end. So that's always a good feeling too. Yeah, so that's like the main thing that I think I wanted to like get across is just like, you know, you don't have to know exactly what you want to do. And like, that's how I felt when I came in here. But like every day now I'm getting more and more focused on like what I want in my future here. And that has a lot to do with the culture. Like I have just like developed over the last like 9 months an idea of my career and like my future. And I've made like a lot of friends and I've had a lot of fun. So yeah, that's why I've had like such a good time over the last 9 months or so. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, but yeah, I didn't end up. Here's another thing. So I didn't end up rotating. I just wanted to sort of stay in my department too. So it's like little things like that, like that's an option. So I just, like I said, I've had a really fun time, and yeah, I hope that you guys can like see that today as you guys walk on the office. Like, I remember when I first came in for the office visit, and I was super excited about just like this environment here and like all the people and everything. So yeah.
Hi guys, how's it going? So I'm the other Alex, Alex Gomaz. I started with GBQ also about 9 months ago, November 1st. I started in the tax department and moved over recently to the audit department about a month ago. Actually originally from Michigan, so not native to Columbus, but I really like the city a lot, henceforth. I stayed down here. Came in 2016, went to college at Capital, studied accounting, and then just kind of went from there. Similar to Alexandra, I didn't really know what I wanted to go into at first. It was kind of business management, but then after some careful consideration, I was like, I feel like it's just a bit too general for me, so I kind of wanted to specialize a bit more in going to accounting. Obviously, I feel like more of the accounting course you guys take, it's a bit more geared towards the auditing side, right? Just the general, more holistic approach, a lot more like balance sheet and statement work. But at some point, I guess I don't really know the curriculum well, which you guys do at C State too much, but I'd assume there's some tax stuff in there too. So there's some crossover on both sides. And similar to Alex, while a lot of the explanations, it can kind of sound dry, when you get into the work, it really is some interesting work. And especially kind of when you're in the heat of the moment, and kind of working through some stuff and you're learning at such, everybody learns at their own pace, whether that's fast, whether that's slow. GBQ's open to all of it. Once you kind of get going, it really is interesting because you're picking up so much at once. And that's one thing I've really enjoyed so far. I've had some other internships prior to joining GBQ, kind of a wide range. I've had like one other in public accounting, and I worked in the auto industry, like car suppliers, which wasn't my thing. I'm not, like, I feel like, it's a heads up, if you guys at all want to go anywhere, like engineering wise, like even if you wanted to work on the accounting side, it's like good to know some engineering, which I don't. So clearly it was kind of like a fish out of water there. Was not meant for me. But like I said, similar to Alex, from the onset when I had my interview with GBQ, I felt really comfortable rather than just kind of a forced conversation. It was really kind of a good flow to it. I feel like it was a lot more personality and just kind of feeling, is this right for you? Because I feel like the interview goes both ways, right? Not only are you being interviewed for the position, but I guess also from advice is that when you guys are looking for what's a good fit for you, you guys want to see like, is this somewhere where I could see myself fitting in? Because it has to fit both ways. It's kind of like a relationship, right? It's not going to work if one person likes the other, or vice versa. So that being said, just really good vibe from the onset during my interview. Really enjoyed that. And so obviously I got the offer letter, I accepted, and then COVID and whatnot hit. So my kind of got extended. I was supposed to start August 1st, got pushed to November. So it's been so long since I guess I interacted with people at GBQ. So I'll be honest, I was a little bit nervous coming in my first day at work. I remember the week leading up, I was like, I'm excited to start, but at the same time, like, just had like a 6-month summer vacation almost, where I was just doing like CPA studying. So I was like, I might come in pretty rusty. But you know, I came in and it was kind of that feeling that I had during the interview came back to me. It's a very comfortable, like Alex said, very comfortable environment. It makes you feel very at home. And I kind of knew from the onset, like I was coming, I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest. And, you know, I could kind of tell that they were going to give me all the time I needed to, which I appreciate a lot. That being said, this kind of takes me to my next point is, I guess, what I've experienced so far, GBQ's really given me the time to kind of grow and learn. As I previously said, I started in tax. I didn't know anything about taxes, anything about the software. So I kind of came with no knowledge whatsoever. But when I say they gave me a lot of time and they really worked with me, I mean that because I was reaching out, probably to my detriment. I probably need to learn to kind of figure things out for myself a little bit before I asked somebody. At the beginning, I was just asking questions, and really, I never at any point felt like people were being bothered by my questions. Every single time they were receptive and they always wanted to help me. And I honestly mean that. And as I kind of move up and progress here at GBQ, that's something that I also aim to do with those. So I think it's good because I think that's something that I've kind of learned being here, and it's a comfortable feeling because I've had other experiences, and you truly feel like I went up to my manager with asking a question, and they just kind of seemed like it was an annoyance. So every day you come into work, and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't want to ask the question. You don't feel like that here at GBQ. And I can honestly say I've had that on both sides, tax and audit. It's very, very friendly environment. So that being said, there's a bunch of other initiatives as well. I'm part of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. Amongst there's some other things like GBQ Olympics. For those of you who are familiar with tax season, it can be pretty intense. So we have like an Olympics committee to kind of like take the edge off in a way. It's a good way to put it. Like I said, the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, we've been kind of busy year round, kind of doing a lot of different things, trying to get some activities, some outreach, and it's been a really good reception from the firm. It seems like everybody likes what we're doing. So I'm assuming that will just kind of keep going that way and kind of keep doing more stuff moving forward. Like I said, really interactive. I've had some great experiences with happy hours. There's been more of that now as we obviously, Delta variant and whatnot. You don't really know what the trajectory of COVID, but for the time being, it's been a pretty, how do I put this the right way? It's been a somewhat smooth transition back to normalcy in regards to, I guess, extracurriculars, whether that be a happy hour or just meetings in person, or even doing something like this per se. So obviously, I don't know, everybody's in a different step, part of their journey where they're looking, like, I don't know how many years anybody has left or if they even want to go into public accounting, but it's been a great experience for me so far. I thank all of you guys. If that's something that interests you, if you enjoy it as well. I don't know where I am on time, but any lasting advice I can give would just be from me to you: know what you want in an employer when you're going to hire in somewhere, because it really based off really whatever experience, or whether it's just like working part-time somewhere or like an actual internship, really kind of reflect on that and pick up what you liked and what you didn't like, because when you go to hire anywhere, internship or full-time, it's good to have an idea of what you want before you do that, because I've been in situations, one of my first internships, I just took it just because it's an internship, so I'm going to grade my resume. And I did not enjoy it for like a full 3 months. It doesn't seem long, but I kind of just kind of not suffered through it, not bad, but kind of struggled through it. So I'll just say know what you want and kind of keep that in your pocket when you interview around. Obviously, if you guys have any questions, we'll be hanging around. I'll be happy to answer any. So thank you guys.
All right, Jordan, can you hear us? And if so, unmute. and we will listen to your part. I don't know if we can spotlight him or if that's a challenge.
Can everybody hear me?
We can hear you.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Hi, everybody. So my deepest apologies for not being there in person, but I'm at least keeping the other people in the Teams meeting company. So I also went to Capital like Alex did. I actually started as a biology major going into my freshman year. And since that, I had changed from psychology to math and then finally settled on business. I had my marketing professor convince me. She was like, please go into marketing, please go into marketing. And then I met my first accounting professor, and he actually set up the internship program, Professor Mellum. And after meeting him, that really solidified, people talk about accounting like it's black and white, but the beauty of it is, and sometimes the detriment of it is that it's more of an art sometimes. Rules are always changing, and tax, we are always getting new guidance. Same with like reporting standards and audit. And so that's really nice. And especially like going into accounting, I knew about the internship program, and I was very nervous going into it because public accounting is portrayed as, being very difficult, and it is. But I remember getting on the phone call with our former HR director, Bonnie, who had interviewed me, and she seemed so genuine, more than anybody that interviewed me. And as a place that, puts out there that they empower growth, any company's values you question and you're like, do they really follow this? And I can say for sure throughout my internship and now starting again as a staff last month, that holds to be true still to this day. I during my internship, it was mostly fully remote. We kind of started to see the end of, COVID and restrictions near the end of my internship. So I was able to meet a few people in person, but for the most part, it was online. And so there was always this fear of, am I doing enough? Am I going to get in trouble if I get stuck on this and don't know how to ask for help? And I remember there was one time I was falling a little behind on a project that I had, and one of our seniors in tax, Eric, he had messaged me, and it stuck with me because in public accounting, you see it as, you're a means of production. You got to push out these returns. And instead, he met me in a very indirect way and said, "Are you all right?" He wasn't saying, "Why isn't this on my desk right now?" or, virtually, "Why isn't this sent to me?" It was more of a, "Are you doing okay?" instead of seeing me as a means of production. And he's a great example, and I think so many other people at the firm are too. I've never felt like I've been jaded by somebody here. I've always had good experiences. And the culture really, really makes it, especially when things get tough. GBQ is always there holding events, offering support. And like Alex had said, you're not stuck in a box here. They don't want you to stick around if you feel like it's no longer for you, or they don't want you to continue doing something that you're unhappy with. They would rather you continue to build on the skills that you already have and are interested in building on. And so that's a really great thing, is I don't feel like I'm ever going to I don't have this fear of that I have to not be myself when I'm at work, and then when I clock out, I can be myself again. I can be myself all day, every day. And that's the main reason why I came back to GBQ. So when Beth had messaged me and asked if I wanted to start earlier than the fall class, I said, absolutely, please. I would love to. So with all that being said, I really recommend GBQ as a good place to start. Your career, a good place to continue your career. They will always support you, and they do a very good job at practicing what they preach. Thank you.
You had me muted, didn't you? Thank you guys. Thanks, Jordan, for jumping on here, and to both of you guys. Hopefully that was meaningful for you guys, because, we can talk about the firm on paper. We just asked them to talk about why they chose GBQ, and that was all on them. You did a really good job explaining that. So hopefully that was worthwhile for all of you as well. I think Martin is next. Is that correct? We'll unmute you.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. So I do not work for GBQ. I work for Columbus State. I'm a faculty member. I looked at the list of names, and I don't think I've had any of y'all in class, in person at least. But I am here to kind of just bridge the gap a little bit for students, and just to give a little insight and just a brief conversation about this from the faculty perspective. I've worked at Columbus State for 10 years, and I am a product of an internship way longer than 10 years ago. And this is a program I always wish that we've had. This is a really great opportunity for all of y'all, and I really hope that you take full advantage of this opportunity. I always liked going to visit, and so I hope anyone that's there obviously takes the tour and looks around. The main thing that I wanted to communicate to y'all, and hopefully my email address will be at the end of this. If not, I'm going to throw it in the chat here before I'm done, is if you have questions or anything about the decision to take this position, or interview questions, or questions while you're working, anything like that, and you want to talk to someone outside of GBQ, maybe someone at Columbus State, then you are welcome to contact me. I'm happy to be a resource. I know when I was doing internships, it was always a weird spot where maybe you're having a difficulty, and you don't necessarily want to talk to someone at the place because you're having a difficulty with someone at the place, and you just have a conversation or want to talk to someone at Columbus State. I invite you to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to talk to you. But really, I'm so excited about this opportunity for all of y'all, and I really hope that you are able to be successful and make yourselves more marketable, and get some really good experience that you really can't get. I mean, I was thinking about this as folks were talking. I've had a couple of students along the way that have been in internship programs or working part-time for accounting firms, but really not that many, because these opportunities don't really pop up for Columbus State students a lot of times. And so I cannot stress enough how important this opportunity is for y'all and for the college. And so if you need anything or need any assistance at all, please reach out. My colleague Patrick Fiorelli is here also. I'm not sure what he might want to add, but that's what I've got.
So much. Hey everybody, I'm Amy Hawkins, and I'm a career counselor at Columbus State Career Services. It's really nice to just be out here this evening talking with you all. I helped Dave to kind of get you guys here tonight along with the GBQ staff, and we were just so excited about this opportunity when we heard about it, because like Martin said, these opportunities don't come around very often, and just hearing like the stories from y'all about how wonderful it is to work here. If I didn't have a good job already, I'd want to work here too. So, but it's, just a great company culture. You don't see that every day. Competitive wage, opportunity to get your feet in the field, opportunity for benefits eligible after the first semester. So many great things about this. So I'm really going to kind of walk you through here a timeline of how we're going to help prepare you for this competitive selection process. So it is a competitive selection process, and it begins now. So, here we are on the information session. We do have, did you guys all receive the program application? Did you guys get that in your email? Yes, okay. Okay. There, it's in your email. Okay. Let's talk afterwards. We will talk afterwards. But that is due this Friday at midnight. Okay, so we want you to do that as kind of like a first step. You'll see it's not complicated. Don't overthink it. It really is just an indication of your interest in proceeding forward with the process. So pretty self-explanatory. Just make sure you're checking your Columbus State email for that. And be checking your Columbus State email throughout the whole process because that's how we're going to be communicating with you. So that's step number one. So August 13th is actually the deadline to schedule some appointments with our office career services. So we're going to have you come in for 2 different types of appointments. One is a resume review and one is an interview practice session, okay? And the whole purpose of this, and my role in this, is to help you guys put your best foot forward in the selection process. So there's going to be more information about that coming to you. There is a window of time to go ahead and have those appointments take place, and we're going to have you guys come into the office between August 9th, so that's next week, through the 27th. So you just kind of want to make sure that you're coming in for those 2 appointments during that time. September 3rd is actually the deadline to achieve the career ready status. So that's just a fancy term for you got your practice interview session in and you did your resume review with us. And we said that you were good to go to have your resume submitted to GBQ. And also that your interview skills are, you're ready to go ahead and have your professional interview with the staff. Okay. September 13th through the 17th is actually when the interviews are going to take place here. So there's going to be this period of time, after you've worked with career services and before the interviews that you just really need to be strongly checking your student email, looking for that invitation to interview. Okay. September 17th is when offers will be extended, or around that date. September 20th is when we are asking, or GBQ is asking for you guys to accept those offers. September 20th through October 1st is what we kind of define as the pre-employment process. So this would be, if you need to leave a current position to be able to work for GBQ for this internship, you have some time to give some notice. GBQ may have some pre-employment steps as part of HR, so that might be like a background check or some other things for you to do. October 4th is the anticipated when you would begin your employment, so kind of around that time. So you can see it's kind of fast moving, but Dave and I are going to be your guides. And just as Martin said, if you have any questions about this kind of selection process and how we're going to help prepare you, my email is also at the end of the PowerPoint too. So we can go ahead. Yep. So again, like I said, it all starts today. We're in this information session. It's been a wonderful session. We've heard about this great opportunity. So the first thing is to check your student email. You check it for the application, get the application done by Friday. And then also check your email for a Microsoft Sway. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, but it's a Microsoft product. It's much like a newsletter. So it's like an email that contains a lot of information. In this way, you'll see a tutorial video. So in this video, it's just me talking to you. Just kind of helping you get ready for your resume review appointment, get ready for your interview practice appointment with career services. Okay. The deadline, like I said, is Friday for the application. The deadline to get your appointment scheduled is August 13th. So I just kind of wanted to put a deadline out there for you to at least get the appointment scheduled by. The reason for that is because career services starts to get pretty busy beginning August 16th when we're back in person. Lots of students are coming through. So to go ahead and get your appointment scheduled would be great. August 9th through the 27th is when the appointments will be happening. So we're going to be meeting with you during that time frame. The 27th through the 13th, we want you to just go ahead and kind of be watching the email, continue to prepare for your interview, and watch for that invitation to interview. And then the 13th to the 17th is when you're interviewing. Again, on the 20th, that's the deadline to accept the offer of employment, and then the pre-employment steps and so forth. So we kind of, a little bit of repetition here, but I just wanted to go through with you a little bit. Okay. So one thing I want to say about that sway that you're going to get, you did not have to take notes as I was talking because it's going to spell everything out for you. Okay. It's going to tell you exactly how to schedule those appointments. I think we have to fast forward to the next slide. Yes. Okay. Thank you. So you're going to schedule your appointments in our new Handshake system. Handshake is a job board. It's an interactive site. It's a networking site. And one of Career Services' goals is to get all students using the system. So another thing that you can do in Handshake is you can schedule appointments with Career Services. That's why we want to have you go ahead and do that. So again, the Microsoft Sway gives you all the information for how to schedule your appointments in Handshake. Okay. So you're going to do that, and then you're going to upload a Microsoft Word or a PDF copy of your resume to Handshake. So that's actually where you're going to send the resume. before you meet with your counselor to have it reviewed. Okay? We ask that you do that about 24 hours before your appointment, just so that we have enough time to kind of look at it before we meet with you. Then also, if you want to do a video meeting with your counselor, she will send you a link to meet in advance of your appointment. Be sure to practice before your interview practice. I don't know how long it's been since the last time you guys did an interview, but if it's been a little while, if you're a little bit rusty, Ohio Means Jobs has a great practice interview site, and we talk about that a little bit in the slay that you guys are going to get. So just kind of running through some common questions and getting practice kind of introducing yourself and things like that. Always reach out to us if you have questions. So Martin had said, if you have questions about, making all this work and how I'm going to do this, Dave is also an excellent person to talk through things like that. Again, it's a wonderful opportunity, and we want you to be able to take full advantage of it. If you have any questions or concerns, we definitely want to talk to you. If you have any questions about how to use Handshake, how to schedule your career services appointments and prepare for those, you've got my contact information there. So we just, again, bottom line, we're super, super excited for you. This is a wonderful opportunity. And I think we're moving into a question and answer phase, if I'm not mistaken. So I might hand it over to Kat.
Yeah, so does anyone have any initial questions? And as I mentioned at the beginning, I know sometimes it's easier if there's individual questions just to connect right after this. We're going to have a little bit of time. So any questions for the good of the group? And of course, anybody that is on the teams can chat those in. Anything that comes to mind that we can answer about GBQ? Yes, our hope is that we will start a new class. Yes. Good question. Anybody else? We answered everything. You know everything you need to know about GBQ, right? Dave, do you want to wrap things up, or do you want to hang here? And then, like I said, we will walk you guys around the office really briefly if you would like. There's no obligation to do so, obviously. But.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm going to keep this real brief. My name is Dave Kofer. I'm a project manager and interim director in the Office of Employer Engagement and Experiential Learning at the college. You've probably never heard about our office because we don't have a strong student-facing component. But as the name would suggest, we engage employers for the purpose of facilitating experiential learning, internships, apprenticeships, co-ops, job shadowing, all of that's experiential learning, right? The opportunity to learn while doing. And, my career started as an intern as well, a long time ago. And I will tell you that internship absolutely served as the foundation for my career. I interned 4 consecutive summers with Bank One at the time. That's how old I am. Bank One is now Chase, by the way. And I had, from the start of my internship to the time I left, I had a 15-year career with Bank One and then later JP Morgan Chase. And when I left there, this is kind of cool, right? So I started as an intern. When I left there, I had not only managed full-time rotational talent development programs, but I was the recruiting manager and director of our internship program. And at that time, technology and operations was a 10,000 person division of JP Morgan Chase. They had about 140,000 employees globally. We brought in 300 interns every summer. And that was in 12 to 15 cities around the US, team of recruiters going out and getting those folks. So I know exactly what Beth is up against, right? Because the competition for talent is intense. But you all represent a solution, right? You are an answer to the challenges of employers like GBQ, which is where is our future talent going to come from? And the internship is a great opportunity for you to test your skills and also for GBQ to kind of try before they buy, right? But they absolutely are looking for their future full-time talent, right? So all that to say, if you're not excited about what you heard tonight, we got to like wake you up or something because you weren't listening, okay? This is an incredible opportunity, whether it's the wages, whether it's the developmental opportunities, the mentoring, the chance to do real work. Like, I didn't hear fluff. I heard real work. I heard contribute to the success of this firm on a daily basis is what I heard. And that's got to excite you. That's got to excite you, okay? So just a couple things, you heard an incredible welcome. The opportunity itself can't be beat. The faculty perspective, I want to thank Martin and Patrick for being on the line. I'm not sure if they're still on or not, but reach out to those 2 folks. Martin's information is going to be on the final slide. You all can find Professor Fiorelli. And then as far as next steps, Amy outlined all those. A couple things to highlight, and Amy's going to help me here with the date. But it's moved up a little bit. This is atypical, but JCPenney Suit Up event. All online. Okay. Yes, so I suspect more information about that will be coming out from the Career Services Office. So just, be checking Cougar Connect and Cougar Web and your emails. But it's a great opportunity if you feel like you need to kind of flesh out your professional wardrobe. It looks like business casual is the approach here at GBQ, which is a lot of workplaces these days. But what is business casual even, right? And so business casual attire, professional business, I will just argue it's always good to have some professional business attire, whether it's the interview, right? Whether it's other, let me ask you this. When you guys are on site, you adhere to the dress code of the client, correct, right? And I suspect clients have a varied dress code, right? Alex, you spoke about manufacturing. It's going to be a little more casual in the manufacturing environment, but professional services firms that you all support, I suspect business attire might be more the case. It just varies. All that to say, JCPenney Suit Up event, wonderful opportunity to get a great, I'd say you can go for about $200. I know it's a lot of money, but for $200, you could probably take care of your whole wardrobe if you did it right, because you're going to get 30% off existing sales. It turns into 60, 70% off full retail. So I've worked that event in the past. It's a great opportunity. And again, it's all online now. So I think that's all I want to say. I want to thank you for taking the time. Students, and I told the GBQ folks this, we know you are super busy, right? You have school, you have work. I'm just going to make the assumption all of you are working already, right? You're working a job today. So you either took time away from that job, you took time away from school, took time away from family and friends to be here. Thank you for doing that. And complete that application, right? Take that first step. Nothing can happen for you as relates to this process without first completing the application. And as Amy so beautifully said, it's merely your expression of interest. The application is not going to get you in or out. The application gets you into the process. Without it, there's nothing, okay? So make sure you complete that application. Stick around if you can. Thank you very much. For the folks joining us virtually, thank you for taking the time to do that. And we're going to wrap up here in the room unless anyone from GBQ has closing thoughts. All right. Well, thanks again for hosting us tonight. All right. And thank you all for being here.